StockMinute.com. I'm Brian Johnson. A flat day in the markets as they prepare for tomorrow and tonight's earnings. Intel reports tonight, followed by JP Morgan in the morning and a few other banks as well tomorrow. So what we saw today was just another part of the pullback, kind of a continuation from yesterday, but just a pullback. Absolutely nothing broken. As you can see, we fell right back into this lower support line I have drawn in here for you. And you can see we held that very, very nicely before actually right towards the end of the day, a big launch to the upside in preparation, I think, of tomorrow. So still, obviously, the bulls in charge here, looking for maybe one last push up to the upside here before we start something a little bit bigger. But we've all been looking for it. It just hasn't come. So we continue to play the same game here at StockMinute.com, and that is we are just waiting for levels to be broken. All right, so nothing below here today. However, may I bring to your attention how simple this was, right back into these lower levels. So if you know how to draw your lines, if you know where to draw your lines, it makes entries and exits a lot more easy and price targets once you're in them. I'm finding more and more that one of the biggest challenges a lot of people make is managing the trade once they're in it. Something I talk about a lot within the mentoring. Certainly one of the biggest weaknesses I had when I first started out trading, and I don't think I'm just that much different than most everybody. Maybe you're really good at getting in. Maybe you're really good at setting ideas for yourself. But once you're in the trade, managing it seems to be the biggest issue. Having these lines in place, in the right place, knowing where to put them and knowing why you're putting them there can make that challenge a whole heck of a lot easier, giving you opportunities to at least give yourself an idea of where to get out, as opposed to just, how about now, how about now, how about now. I remember those days. I hate that. The emotions you go through. At the end of the day, sometimes I was emotionally spent from just holding my breath all day long about, do I get out now? Do I get out now? Type thing. Ugh, I hate it. So these lines work very, very well. Get them in the right place. Once again, right back to support and holding here. Did get back above that 20-period moving average by the end of the day. The daily, as you can see, a little bit of a I don't even know if I want to call that a hammer candle, but it's just a small candle up here. As you can see, a lot of consolidation in preparation for what tomorrow's going to bring us, and we're at the end of the week already. Moving on to the Nasdaq, you can see it still ended just barely up. So what we saw today in the markets when it was all said and done is the indices were all flat to down just a little, whereas the NDX, the 100 strongest stocks, were up. Apple was also up today. It's just a beast of a machine right now. Got to be very careful about standing in front of it into earnings. The only short I've ever recommended on it I took with my subscribers just a few days ago, which worked perfectly, but that was like the ultimate setup for me. So otherwise I wouldn't be touching these type of things to the short side quite yet. Same thing on a daily. Look at this extension straight to the upside, just like we saw back here. Let's give it another week, maybe even two. We might even get halfway through options expiration week, or potentially all the way through, before this thing starts to decide to pull back in a bigger way. But I'm telling you, a lot of people are talking about it, and now I'm going to start jumping on the bandwagon with, yeah, we're really, really close. I personally think within the next week or two, we'll see that larger pullback start to happen. I still have to be proven that by the charts. But if you just want a gut reaction, that's what I'm looking at. Some people are asking me, what's your gut tell you? Well, that's what it says. And then the next couple weeks, I think we'll start to see that. Huge move up here as well on the weekly, looking very, very good so far in all cases. SPX, here's that little kind of an M shape. Sometimes we get these little movements here where it pulls back up, pulls back again, sat right on the 20-period moving average. Perfect stop for it, as well as the Dow within its support areas. Small little candle again, consolidation candle until otherwise proven. Got to get back below these lower areas of 1270 or so. I'd really like to see once again these tests of the 20 and how well that's going to do once it gets back down there. That's still 20 points away though. It's quite a ways. SPX weekly also looking very, very good. Let's see where this candle closes tomorrow and try to set ourselves up for something into next week. VIX was up today, so markets flat to a little bit down. VIX, well, up 1% is okay. That's pretty decent. But overall, up just 15 cents or 15 points, however you want to look at that here. Not really 15 points, but not up a whole lot overall. When you're down in the 16 area, any kind of a move makes for a large percentage. So we'll just look at the fact that it was up a little bit while the markets were down a little bit. Weekly, same type of a thing, pulled back a little bit today, but we're right at and holding that blue pattern. This is what I really like from a VIX standpoint. I think there's good opportunity here to maybe see a bounce coming into the next week or two, as I said. Apple 60 minutes still up 126 today, doing very well. Very slow, but yet very well to the upside since we saw this and the pullback. Apple daily, same type of a thing, moving right up into these higher overhead areas, but on Apple, it's all whatever at this point. This is as high as it's ever been, so it's anybody's guess where it can go. I've been giving you my best guess for the week. Let's see if we don't get that coming into tomorrow. It's going to have to be back down around 343-ish or so to get it to close right at that blue line. But overall, close enough for me, even up in this area here. I do think all of this stuff is very extended. However, I'm not going to be the first one to jump in short to Apple. No, thank you. Especially with it reporting next week. FAS 60 minutes, same type of thing, little bit of a pullback here, but resting right on the 20-period moving average. This middle line that I drew in for you, resting very well here. These midlines are a little tricky to draw until you get a real good feel for them. But they are extremely useful when you see them, and can go a long way within your trading. You can see how well this midline has worked for us, and today was no exception. Another good price target if you were playing that anyway to the short side. Same thing here, just a consolidation candle moving sideways after yesterday's big gap and run up. So I think everybody, of course, is just waiting to see how the banks are going to do. There's a lot of anticipation in the markets about where we're going and where the banks are going and how they're going to do. Is it a buy the rumor, sell the news? We don't know. We really don't know till maybe tomorrow morning. Then maybe we start to get a little better feel for where this thing's going. Otherwise, back to the midline here as well. Drops below 850. Just continue to head lower. Same story, different verse. I like it above these areas here. So if you can get pushes above, if you can get into something above 8, boy, I don't even know. Really, you know what, guys? It's up to you. I have no interest in going long this stock right here. There's just nothing here. I can make a speculative guess at something, but that isn't helping you. Completely disingenuous. I don't want you to feel that that's what I teach my students, because I don't. Let's be conservative. Your money is your only asset in this game. You lose your money, that's it. Game over. You're done. So yeah, I had to learn that the hard way too, guys. I blew through a huge account when I first started trading in about 3 months, and had to learn the hard way that it's well worth it to invest your money elsewhere. Either give it to the broker and let him do it for you, get a good education, or just stay out of the market altogether. So I chose to take the education and learn how to do it correctly. It made a huge difference for me. So I am not going to guess at a long up here. Once again, above these lines, okay, now we're talking. Maybe above 910, 920, somewhere like that. I still like these overhead areas we're checking out on the daily, and that's above 960. I think it's a very conservative place to start looking for long positions on a bigger, longer hold type time frame. This should be very staunch resistance when we get back up to it. I should say if. I shouldn't say if. It'll come. But when we get back up to this line, that's absolutely something I'll be watching as well. Those are the times to really start investing your money. Okay, until tomorrow, let's see how we close tomorrow. And let's see what Intel and them do in the after hours. Matter of fact, while we're talking, let me quickly flip over here, bring it up, and see. Oh, yeah, Intel's up 6 cents. I don't think they've reported yet. What do you think? So let's see what tomorrow brings with Intel, see if it makes any. And sometimes these don't make any difference in the markets. JP Morgan jumps up, Intel jumps up, and the market's kind of open flat. So it isn't always indicative of where we're going in the morning, but definitely something we want to be watching into tomorrow morning. And we'll see where we close tomorrow night, and then start setting ourselves up for options expiration week. But as I like it right now, neutral to bullish. Still got to hand it to the bulls. Very cautious to the bull side, but after a couple days of what we've been seeing, this is nothing but a consolidation / pullback coming into the end of the week. Fridays have been technically pretty good for the markets in most cases, so if that continues up and above these overhead levels, we still got opportunities to go long. All right, see you tomorrow night. Bye.